Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'd say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. But I think right now we're safely still in the morning. Can everybody hear me right now?
Yes, we can.
Clear. Loud and clear.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So a great morning. We're on the heels of a great reading. For those of you who are just joining us, we have a reading club of entrepreneurs who get together. It is not affiliated precisely with anything. The point of our reading club on Saturday mornings is for us to get together with like-minded, business-oriented individuals and to read business books and then have a little discussion about it. So it's a little bit deeper than just reading the book. You're going to get multiple perspectives and sometimes a couple of good, real life examples of how this applies or what difference it can make or has made for some people. So first of all, can everybody see the screen, and is the screen clear and unobstructed?
We can see the screen, Eric, but
okay.
It looks like we have to put it PowerPoint because we can still see, the surroundings. There's
And I'll admit that I could not download the PowerPoint. This is the presentation mood from the back office.
Well, let's team up here because when you move the mouse, you can see right there to the right next to FE. Click on that little.
Hang on a second.
Square.
Let me get rid of that.
For full screen.
Yeah.
Go back again. There you go.
The box.
Yes, sir.
Right
there. Enter full screen. All right.
Perfecto.
Cool. Gotta love teamwork. And other than that, the screen is clear.
It looks sharp now. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you, Fernando. So for everybody, I want to welcome you to MWR, Make Wealth Real, the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind in the world. Since 2017, our debt-free multi-million-dollar company has pursued one single mission, and that's eliminating the wealth gap, helping everyday people experience true time and financial freedom. Our vision And I'll say the vision of our founder is bold but simple: to create more millionaires than any other company in history. Think about that. Which company do you think out there created the most millionaires so far? I'd love to find out which one it is and how many, and see how far
Eric,
we are, because we've already.
Eric, didn't mean to
Yes, sir.
interrupt. Are you changing screens already?
Uh, it didn't change, did it?
No.
Let's see here.
I can see the full
There you go.
screen.
There you go.
Go. Perfect. Gotcha. You're on the next page now.
I love my co-pilot. Thank you, Fernando. So, as I was saying, you know, a very simple vision: create more millionaires than any other company in the world. And we do this by giving you access to the same systems, same strategies, same programs, and experts. Probably the most secret ingredient is to have the right resources plus experts to help you up. Things that were previously only reserved for the wealthy, people with big, you know, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million accounts had access to this. Now you can too. So while everyone's distracted by the volatile industries like AI, technology, and healthcare, high finance continues to be the biggest industry in the world. It's a massive 36 trillion with a T market that is projected to grow to nearly $50 trillion in the next 5 years, creating an unprecedented opportunity to build wealth. And this is what we want for you. See, our revolutionary 3-step system enables you to become and stay wealthy using proven financial strategies and the opportunity to create passive and residual income streams. You know, Warren Buffett is famous for saying that as long as you continue to earn money by trading hours for dollars, and I don't care whether you're a salaried employee, a commissioned employee, whether you are paid by the hour, as long as you continue to have to trade your time and your effort for money, you'll never be able to retire. The sad and unfortunate fact that I talk about on my radio show frequently: 80% of Americans, when they retire, okay, and in their definition of retirement is stop working, they're forced to depend on Social Security, family, and friends. And that's not what we set out to do, but because of a lack of a plan and a lack of a strategy, that's what happens. And imagine 80%, okay? That's, you know, 4 out of 5 people. So it's great to break this down. This revolutionary 3-step system enables you to become and stay wealthy using these strategies. And it also creates an opportunity that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on how to create not only the right strategies for your finances, which you should do first, but then how to share that and then create residual income. It's a remarkably simple. You use the bank's money to purchase income, producing assets, and then let that appreciate over time. We do it in real estate. We do it in precious metals. We do it in a lot of different hard assets, including things like the stock market and bonds. But I will tell you that hard assets, different than those last two, stand the test of time against inflation as well. So here's the thing. Step 1, use the bank's money. Step 2, purchase income producing assets. And I'm going to give you an example, a very simple to follow example to generate massive passive monthly income. And then we're going to share the good news, right? When you have a good meal, a great show, or a great financial experience, wouldn't it be nice to share it with other people? We already do that for most things. We're going to show you not only how to share it, but also how to do it. So here's how it works. Number 1, and then let me switch the slide here. We have provided through our Fundable 360 program a system where you can get a guaranteed $50,000. But here's the unique part about that. You're able to get this without using any of your own credit. You can use your credit, but you don't need to. If you have bad credit or no credit, you can establish a new and second profile, a business credit profile. So MWR's Fundable 360 program can assist you in obtaining a minimum of $50,000 in ongoing unsecured business funding to jumpstart your wealth building journey. You know, they say it takes money to make money. How about a company that not only tells you how to make money, but then provides you the money to make money with the money? Not only that, but this morning in our reading club, we were talking about the difference between the different levels of investors and how smart investors, well, what they call level 5 investors, they use other money, other people's money, the bank's money, investors' money. Once they show that they're good at that, they're able to raise money and accelerate where and how they make their money. So, you know, we want to help you to jumpstart your wealth building journey without using any of your personal credit or risking any personal assets. So let's talk about how we do that. And by the way, when you get that $50,000, it doesn't stop there. We also have experts and coaches that are going to show you how to continue to build that credit. And the better you manage the initial credit, the more credit that you'll get over and over again. And so that's really what you want to do, is build more credit. So let me go back here. Let's give an example. Let's use the bank's money. Let's say that $50,000 to purchase in our special MWR Precious Metals program, where you can earn monthly returns on your holdings through an exclusive precious metals leasing program. Now, again, I'll bet you a lot of you haven't heard about a precious metals leasing program. The same way you can buy and lease out real estate, you know, you can buy horses and lease them out. You can buy precious metals. And by the way, much better to do hard assets. I'm going to keep emphasizing this. And this leasing income is typically substantially higher than the cost of funds. That's called positive leverage, where I borrow money at one rate and earn money at a higher rate. And so the only thing that limits the amount of money that I can make is by not having enough money. And that's why we want to start out guaranteed minimum $50,000, set that up, put it in action, and then at that point, let time do its thing. So, like I said, the leasing income is typically much higher than the cost of funds from the bank, covering all of your expenses. So you purchase it, you store it, you continue to generate monthly income through our specialized program, accessible only with our program, and then sit back and watch the income come in and watch the assets appreciate. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that we want to talk about next. Silver as an example. And I talked about an example in our reading club about a gentleman who bought a silver dollar in 2001, the same year as 9/11. Okay. And that was 23 years ago, 24 years ago. That $1 silver dollars, the silver eagle, today is worth almost $400. Yet a 4 quarters or a dollar bill is still worth $1. Do you think there's been some inflation there? See, we've seen the appreciation of silver on an annual basis at 15% approximately. A conservative forecast, though, as more and more people are getting tuned in to the different currencies, the coins, the digital coins, but then they're coming back to the precious metals, because, you know, while digital currency can disappear overnight, the precious metals are here for life. And as the population of the world grows and the population of the people who understand precious metals grows, you're going to see that appreciation accelerate. And we've seen moderate forecasts of, you know, almost 30% to as much as 60% for the people who are very bullish on those coins. So let's talk about this. Let's take a closer look. You know, your initial $50,000 funding to purchase silver. And let's assume that you're borrowing money at 8% per year and you're leasing your silver out at 1.5% per month. And this is possible in our program. And so therefore you get a total of 18% return on your money a year, this would result in a monthly leasing income of $750, which more than covers the 333 monthly cost of funds, giving you a net profit of over $416 every single month. Now, annualize that. This creates a positive cash flow of over $5,000 in annual profits. To do what? What are you going to do with that extra $5,000? Remember, that was money that you didn't have to begin with, generating money that you weren't generating before. Why not take that $5,000 and go ahead and buy more of the hard asset, the silver? And while your existing silver continues to grow in value. So using historical appreciation rates plus your profits for repurchases could be worth $61,500 after just 1 year, all achieved without risking a penny of your own money. So think about that. Started with none of your money, ended up with $61,000 and $61,500. That is what the wealthy are doing right now. And so based on these extremely conservative appreciation rates and leasing returns, the system generated over a 5-year period could increase your holdings more than $512,000. Now, granted, this is an example, but this is the concept that we want to share with you. And then I'm going to show you where you can get access to these resources and tools, while also, remember, producing another $4,000 in passive monthly income, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So this system right here that I'm talking about, and let me just, this system is what makes MWR a life-changing opportunity, unique and different in a category of one. Think about it. How many people do you know that would like a risk-free way to accumulate whatever, millions in income-producing assets? You see, there's some number out there that if you had that number of assets that created X dollars per month, you would no longer have to trade your hours for money, right? No longer, it's money making money, not you making money. And again, I ask you, how many people do you know that would like that? If you told them that you have a risk-free way, and that's very important, a risk-free way to create income, to accumulate assets and produce assets that produce income without using any of your own money. Now, if you said everyone, I can think of many people, I have over the period of time, you'd be right. You'd be right. And the beauty of MWR's opportunity is leverage and the simplicity of duplication. Here's an example of what income would look like if your organization duplicated at just 50%. Okay. And what I'm talking about here is, remember, I started out by saying that if you had a great meal at a great restaurant, you'd share it with people, right? Does a restaurant pay you any money for that reference or referral? No. You see a great movie, you tell people about it. You go to a great show, you tell people about it. I'm saying that if you had a great experience with money and finances and advice and resources, wouldn't you tell people? And what if I told you that instead of just making people grateful for you teaching them about an experience or a financial opportunity, what if you could also get compensated for that? And what if there was a company that could track it all for you using the modern technology and then reward you for building an army of people telling referrals? And it doesn't have to be a big army. Again, let's say that you decided and you told 12 people, one person a month for the next 12 months. And let's say that those 12 people had great experiences and then they started telling people. In other words, if you shared MWR with just 12 people, who then shared it with 6, who then shared it with 3, who then shared it with 2, who shared it with just 1. If you do the math, your network would grow to over 1,100 people, generating over $12,000 in monthly residual income for you based on those referrals. And this is in addition to the 4,000 plus in passive income from the precious metals leasing that I just told you, giving you a possible over $16,000 in monthly income that can grow They can grow whether you're working or not. And so here's the thing: the beauty of MWR is the simplicity of it. And unlike traditional businesses where you're constantly having to sell products, MWR's referral system, never ending referrals, is never, and there's never an end of your inventory when you have a referral based, which is not based on tangible goods and products and limited services. MWR's referral system creates lasting income from one-time efforts, right? Introduce once and watch it pay over and over again. And when you refer someone who becomes an MWR business owner, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, or a customer, doesn't matter, you get paid for their participation in the membership or their participation in their business, and you get the leverage of their entire network month after month, as long as you remain and as long as they remain active members. Now, our daily and weekly payment structure, let's talk a little bit about that. This is all about having a program that builds upon itself, that rewards sharing, right? It rewards using the systems. And what are the rewards? Well, let's talk about it. As your business grows, your income potential grows dramatically. Okay, remember, this is about leverage. Our top MWR directors can earn from $5 a day up to an astounding $15,000 per day. I know personally people right now in our system earning over $1,500 per day. Multiply that. $1,500 a day times 30, that's $450,000. I'm sorry, $15,000 a day is $450,000. Think about athletes' money for a second. This is the maximum monthly residual income that you can get. Now, what changes when that happens? Pretty much everything, right? The cars you drive, the schools you send your kids to, the clothes you wear, the places you visit, or whatever else suits you. Maybe just spend more time with family, to put the worries of finances behind you. That's what really makes a difference. In fact, for me, that's what really moves the needle. And so here you are, you're referring someone else who becomes a business owner. They get paid for their participation. You get paid for your participation plus theirs. And you see, now you have the ability to earn right now money, right? Because this is paid daily, or and for your right now bills, and without waiting for monthly commissions and calculations, and and then you have to, it's all done. You do it daily, you get paid daily. You also get to enjoy industry leading payout percentages, retention rates, because when you see the benefits of the service, there's no reason why someone would ever quit the service. Imagine having CPAs, CFPs, IRS enrolled agents on speed dial without having to think about having to pay $250, $350 an hour for their advice, because it's all part and parcel to this membership here. So industry leading payout percentages. I looked around. First of all, there's no other company that does anything like this. But in the world of, payout structures, this is one of the most generous, probably because it's in the finance world, one of the most generous payment plans that you'll see anywhere. And even in my 30 years experience in the real estate business, I have rarely seen companies that are this generous with their members. And I guess maybe that's why, is because they don't have employees, they have members that refer and grow the business. So as your business grows, so does your income potential. We talked about that. The extraordinary income potential of over $5 million a year is achieved by doing what? Helping others access the same wealth information and the wealth building systems and strategies that MWR provides you. So here's the payment structure. Some people call this their retirement plan. I call this your income menu. Why? You get to pick off the menu what level you want to achieve. And it's very simple here. Number one, the bonus structure provides multiple income streams. There's over 7 different streams of income possible. residual incomes. These are not tied to your hours or your daily efforts. This is tied to the network that you build. And these strategic bonuses reward all aspects of business building. And that's why it was designed to encourage you to do the things that help people to better their finances, better your finances, and create income. And so all aspects of business building to support the immediate and the long-term needs. And here's the cool part. And I'll just tell you, I started out by telling you that here's a business that you can acquire. And when I tell you how much this business costs, you're going to be very, very surprised. Now, you're going to decide whether you're going to be surprised to the high side or to the low side. But think about this. Simply by finding 3 people just like yourself who are looking for some additional supplemental income, or maybe they're looking for a way to replace their existing income. You find 3 people to join your team. And I'm talking about a very easy to accomplish task. You probably know 3 people that are right now in your phone contact list. Those 3 people plus 2 sales, and you get to, in your sale to yourself counts as 1. Now the company begins to pay you the equivalent of a salary. We call it our luxury residuals, paid daily. With only 3 people on your team, on your network. Remember, we talked about 12 before. Only 3, you now start to earn $5 a day. Now, $5 a day is $150 a month, or $1,825 a year. For many of you, like me, that doesn't necessarily move the needle in terms of income. It won't make a difference in my life financially, but it did make a difference because it was proof of concept that was simply enrolling 3 people in the same idea that I have of generating additional income. The company starts to pay me $150 a month. And in fact, the company goes further and says, if you do that in the first 30 days, that they'll pay you a momentum bonus of $150. So right in the first month, I've made $150 in the luxury residuals, plus $150 in the bonus, is now $300 in month 1. Most companies most startup businesses don't make money in their first 12 months. Many of them don't make money in the first 24 months. 80% of businesses are out of business in 5 years. And I'm showing you a very low risk to no risk opportunity in the world's largest industry that'll never go away through recessions, depressions, and economic booms. Finances are always front and center. In fact, what's the most common conversation you have every day? Oh, the price of eggs. Oh, the price of gasoline. Oh, inflation. Oh, are interest rates going up and down? Every day, at some point in the day, you're going to have a conversation about money. Imagine if you could turn around and say, the company, that I'm with, not only helps you learn more about the game of money, but also make sure by providing experts to back it all up, how to reduce your taxes, how to lower your interest rates, how to lower your interest expense, how to eliminate debt altogether, how to save money on your monthly bills. And the benefits of membership go on and on and on, including home ownership, how to become a homeowner without the banks. When the banks say no, we say yes. We have our own program for that as well. And like I said, there's 7 different ways. I'm not going to go into it, but let me just paint a picture for the first 90 days. Imagine this. In the first 30 days, and in fact, for some people in the first 30 hours, they find and assemble a group of 3. Now, in the next 30 days, your mission is not to go find 3 more, but is to help your 3 people repeat what you just did in their next, few hours, few days, few weeks, for them to get their 3. Now, if you help them to get their 3 in their first 30 days, your first 60 days, the company gives you another bonus of $450. Well, momentum is good. So next month, again, I'm not asking you to go out and find 3 more people. I'm asking you to help the next incoming class of 3 to get their 3. And by the end of the 3rd month, okay, 2 wonderful things have happened. Number 1, your $5 a day when you had your 3, when they got their 3, now you were promoted to $20 a day. Now you see, now I think the needle begins to move, because at at $20 a day, $600 a month, that's a healthy car payment. Could be a good part of a mortgage payment, or it could be just the difference, the extra $600 that some people are looking for to take a little bit of the stress out of their income picture. But that's $20 a day. But now you've got 12 people on your team. Remember, you only found the first three. Your three found their three. Let's go to the third month. And this is really fun because when you do the math here, in the third month, you help that incoming freshman class get their three. Now you have a total group of 36. You went from 3 to 12 to 36. You also went from 5 to 20 to $50 in income per day. $50 per day times 30 is $1,500 per month. Again, this may not be retirement income yet, or is it? Because you see, Social Security, the maximum Social Security benefit, if you paid the maximum for the longest period of time, invested your 40 years of career paying Social Security, the average Social Security check today in America is not the maximum $4,000, which, by the way, still isn't what I think retirement should look like. But the average, the most common check today being mailed out by Social Security is about $1,600 that took you 40 years to generate and develop. Here in MWR, in 90 days, you could replace a 40-year retirement check at the same rate with a lot less time and a lot less effort. And now run your eyes down that chart, the daily, from 5 to 20 to 50. And that's as far as I'm going to go at breaking down the math. But go down to $100 a day, $3,000 a month. Remember I said this is the menu that you get to pick from. $200 a day, $300 a day. Do you know that at $300 a day, and there's people on today's call that are making $300 a day or $9,000 a month. Okay, now this is the last math I'm going to do for you. 9,000 times 12 is 109,500. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a six-figure income that is happening all around us right now for being in a company that's a one of a kind, in a company that has the most generous payout structure that I've seen in the industry. And you can now do business. By the way, you can build that organization in all 50 states, plus Puerto Rico. You don't have to have any licenses. The work is done by the experts. All you're doing is becoming a referral machine. That's all you got to do. So, but it gets even better than that, okay? Can you believe it? Remember how we started out talking about the referral program? We talked about the Fundable 360. Now let's put that together, right? With our Fundable 360 program, you have two businesses in one. For every business that you refer, including your own, you can earn an immediate $400 referral bonus for referring someone to Fundable 360. You also can receive a 25% matching bonus, plus up to $150 in legacy bonuses for the other enrolled businesses within your network. So our experts do the work, right? Our CFPs, CPAs, our IRS enrolled agents, our financial planners, you name them, they do the work. You get paid, okay? So MWR's Lifestyle and Legacy membership. Remember I said you're going to be surprised by what it costs. But first, let me just remind you what the benefits were, right? Number one, I talked about access to our exclusive precious metals leasing program. But it also provides a comprehensive suite of financial services like tax advisors, like credit and interest advisors, credit restoration and repair, housing advisors, and the list goes on and on and on. And these are a comprehensive suite, everything that you need. I call it the Costco one-stop shop to get the best and at the most affordable price that I've ever seen for these. In fact, I'm going to tell you that 1 month's membership is less than 1 hour of having one of those experts doing work for you, with you, one-on-one. And that's what you get with our membership here. So we also have a bill reduction program. We also have a savings program. You name it, we've got a lot going on. In fact, the average monthly savings of a lot of our members is around $2,000 a month. Think about that. I said I wasn't going to do any more math for you, but I can't help myself. $2,000 a month is $24,000 a year. Would an additional $24,000, remember, penny saved is a penny earned. Would an additional $24,000 make a difference in your life? Would you notice it? Absolutely. I'm sure that you will. And so these amazing systems and services save our members an average of $2,000 a month through our debt elimination program, our tax reduction, our bill negotiation, credit enhancement, plus lots of other money saving programs that I hope that you'll explore. And more than that, I want you, and I hope that you will use. So at this point, you may be thinking, how much is all of this going to cost, right? It's probably going to cost hundreds or maybe even thousands of dollars. Because when you start thinking about, a CPA at $250 an hour, a tax advisor, maybe even more. If you tried to purchase our experts, strategies, and services outside of MWR, but inside of MWR, the membership has its privileges. Okay, to borrow a famous saying, you can get started with our lifestyle and legacy membership for just $149.97 per month. Okay, and remember all the things that it gets: $2,000 a month savings. I asked myself, would I trade $149 for $2,000 in savings? And I would do that all day long. Companies like Groupon, that's how they make their money. It's trading, a great deal over and over and over again. But here's the cool thing about that as well, is that that's not just for one person, that's for two people in the same households. And it doesn't matter whether it's a husband and wife, a domestic partner, a father, daughter, mother, sister, two people, same address, one cost, both get the full benefits. And again, MWR membership has its privileges, and you can get started with our lifestyle and legacy membership for just $149.97 per month, with no contracts, no setup fees, and your spouse, partner is included for free. So this gives you everything that you need to participate in MWR's precious metals and leasing, along with our own personal team of financial experts, tax advisors, bill advisors, to help you protect, keep, and make more money. Or, okay, and here's where it gets interesting, or for an additional 100 one-time enrollment fee, you can become the owner of your own MWR business. That's right, for a total startup cost of $249.97, and only $149 after that first month, you'll have everything that you need in our lifestyle and legacy membership to go out there and tell the world, plus the opportunity to have access to that income menu, the opportunity to earn all the income streams that we discussed. Think about that. Where else can you not start a business, but buy a business, a 100% IRS compliant? You're a W-2 employee today. Join MWR. You are now a business owner. You have access to the IRS tax code that is favorable for business owners, over 400 plus tax deductions. This is an amazing opportunity in and of by itself. And we believe so strongly in these systems and strategies that we back them with an industry-leading money-back guarantee. Check it out. It's in writing. We're so confident in our programs that they will deliver tangible, measurable financial benefits that far exceed the cost to participate. And here's the thing: these two guarantees remove all the risk from your decisions, allowing you to explore the MWR opportunity and everything that we have to offer with complete confidence, right? What are the guarantees? Number one, 30-day money-back guarantee. If our experts, strategies, and or opportunity cannot help you save or make more money in your first 30 days, will give you a full, and I always like to say, cheerful refund, because it doesn't happen. If you use these services, they pay for themselves in multiples, okay? And I can tell you that from personal experience. I use, and I sometimes like to say, abuse the services that my $149.97, and I will tell you that just the mileage tracking that I do pays that off. Just the call that I make, probably a couple times a week to the tax advisors, because now I'm not shy about seeking advice. And it helps me in my profession. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the real estate business, the mortgage business, the financial, any of the financial services, financial advisors, insurance agents, this is such an amazing add-on for what you're already doing. And PS realtors, remember all those people that got turned down by the bank that you couldn't help? Now you can, because with the services at MWR, you now have our keys to home ownership program. When the banks say no, we say yes. Again, that's guaranteed. Also, our fundable 360 guarantee, right? If any business that you refer, including your own, hint, 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 does not qualify for at least $50,000 in ongoing unsecured business funding, by following our experts' guidance, we have our own back office portal just for the fundable 360 to track what you need to do, what your business Paydex or Dun & Bradstreet's credit score is on the business profile, nothing to do with your FICO personal credit score. If you follow their advice and expert guidance, MWR again will refund your enrollment fee for our fundable 360. So the bottom line is it's a risk-free opportunity. It's a risk-free. The only risk you have is not taking advantage and taking it for a test drive and finding out what it could really do for you. So I covered a lot of stuff here, but let me summarize it like this, okay? There's the traditional path, right? The one with an 80% failure rate that we've been instructed. Go to school, get a good job so that you can work 40 years of your life, retire, get a gold watch and a pension, which, by the way, they don't give out gold watches anymore, and they don't give out pensions anymore. They instructed, indoctrinated, and trained a whole country to want to do that, and then find out that when they retire, they depend on social insecurity, if it's even going to be around. That's your traditional path. Hey, work 40 years of your life. And by the way, most people aren't working 40 years. Ask the greeter at Walmart or the nice old lady at McDonald's wiping down the table. Did they want to do that? Was that their goal when they first, starting out? In the traditional path, you have to risk whose money? You have to risk your money. In the traditional path, you risk personal assets, you risk your own personal credit, you work harder, you're taught to work harder to get more money. Okay, go get them. Grind is what the message is. Let me tell you, the very wealthy people don't tell each other to grind some more. They tell them better things. Think about the advertisements that you see. The bank pays you 0 point nothing percent. Now CDs are approaching 4 and 5%. They tell you that if a return of 5 to 7%, even in the stock market, you should be happy with. And then basically, kind of like a drug dealer, they get you hooked, and then they tell you you'll live okay on Social Security. Today, average check, $1,600. The 401k, I could go on another hour just talking about the problems with the 401k and why it's a setup. But let's talk about the alternative. I don't want to focus on the negative. I want to focus on the positive, the MWR path we just talked about right now. You see, here we're talking about building not just income, but also assets. We showed you how to do it substantially in the next 5 years. In fact, if you notice, I now have a coaching program for folks that I talk to right now called the 5-year career. And it's because it's absolutely black and white, positive, possible. We don't use just our limited funds. We use the bank's funds to build assets, grow income. We use no personal assets. Remember, I said this is not based on your personal credit. No personal assets at risk, no personal credit at risk. We leverage other people's assets, other people's efforts, And we help that helps us to make more money. And PS, in our programs, when you start to get familiar with them, you're not going to hear 5 to 7% returns. To be totally honest, I won't get out of bed for 5 to 7%. Instead, we're used to and accustomed to seeing 12, 18, 24% annual returns plus appreciation. In the real estate world that I'm in, we wouldn't get out of bed for 5 to 7%. It's not risking the amount of capital that some other real estate investor has to put up. And we enjoy passive and residual income, because ultimately the name of the game, when we graduate high school or college and we go to work, we're now trading hours for dollar. 100% of our income comes from what I call active income. As you begin to build a team and build a little bit of that supplemental income, now you have your active income plus what I call semi-active, because you're building the team. There's some effort there, but a lot of your income comes from all of the leveraged efforts that are out there. But there's a third type of income, which I call passive income. So you got active, semi-active, and passive. The name of the game is to cross the bridge. Have 100% of your income coming from passive income. Whatever you do, active and semi-active, is bonus. It's travel money. It's whatever you want to call it. But true financial freedom is the day that you no longer trade hours for dollars. And that happens with the business that we outlined here. Most times the traditional path, it requires decades of hard work. You can do it in half a decade here, easily and securely, risk-free. And by the way, look at 80% of people who retire on Social Security. Again, I promise you, that was not the plan. At least it wasn't their plan in the beginning. A lot of them, in their last 5 years of employment, they start to look, well, how much am I going to retire on? How much will Social Security pay me? Because I certainly didn't generate enough assets in order to live off of the income of the assets. So here's the bottom line, right? Here we are. You have the traditional path, you have the MWR path. I'm laying out here the perfect opportunity, like the perfect storm. Again, how many people do you know who would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income, millions in income producing assets without using any of their own money? And how would you like to have the added benefit of getting paid while leveraging the success of others? That's right. The more you help others, the more that helps you, all while not having to become an expert in the process. I don't have a PhD in finance. I'm not a tax expert, yet I have ready access available to tax experts for my business, and I can refer that and get paid for referring that. They do the work. I don't do any of the work. I don't have the licenses. And so, again, I ask you, how many of you would like the added benefit of getting paid while leveraging the success of others, all while not working to become an expert in the process or doing any of the work? And again, like before, the answer is everyone. And so here's the thing, and these are just some of our experts. I mentioned the gentleman who's making $150, $1,500 per day. Imagine if your account grew by $1,500 a day. Okay, in 2 days, it's $3,000. In 3 days, there's $4,500 sitting in your account. Okay, now instead of figuring out how to make money, you now can figure out how to enjoy your life. Brian Beam, public speaker now, took this program and ran $1,500 a day. Dr. Gerald Parker on the call today, former supervisor, left a $65,000 a year job, well-paying job by most standards, above the average, to do this full-time today. And today he makes multiples of what he used to make, owns a home in North Carolina, spends time in Florida. And by the way, Dr. Parker, can't wait till you're spending more time down here. We got, Charles and Judith Ivory, former military, retired, went to go work for the government, got laid off during the pandemic, found out about MWR. And when the pandemic was over and his former employer called him up to come back, he said, no, thank you, can't afford to come back to work for you. I got something great. I got something better. So here's the bottom line here, right? The cost of waiting. I don't know how many of you have ever heard about that, but the cost of waiting, the value of compound returns is monstrous. Albert Einstein said, the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest or compound return. And again, all this we're doing simply by referring others to MWR and MWR Fundable 360. Every day you delay to getting started can represent a lost opportunity that will compound over time. And by the way, one thing that happens, you can waste money and go back and make some more. You can waste time, but you can never go back and make more. Waiting just 1 year could mean missing out on $61,000 in potential wealth. While a 5-year delay, think about that example I gave you. A 5-year delay could cost you over $500,000 in accumulated assets and income. Beyond the financial cost, there's also the intangible cost of time spent without freedom, without confidence of where the next dollar's coming from, or if there's going to be enough dollars. Not to mention the lost opportunities that financial independence provides. It's funny how money attracts money. It just does. Money seems to have a mind of its own, and it runs from people that waste it, and it seems to be attracted to people that can make more and use it to make more and more. So the lifestyle you want right now, believe it or not, it's a mathematical algorithm. If you were to follow the steps, color by the numbers, if you will, the lifestyle you want is waiting. I also like to remind people, today, the average annual income in America is $54,000 and change. Let's just round it to $50,000. I'm being hyper conservative. Some of you might even be saying, I saw statistics that were higher than that. Again, more conservative I can't be. $50,000 a year. Okay, in 10 years, you're going to make $500,000. In 20 years, you're going to make $1 million. Okay, and the average career is over 40. So over $2 million will run through your accounts in your lifetime. And yet 80% of Americans, by the time they retire, have zero to little money in their retirement accounts. 401k, think about it. I wasn't going to really go back and pick on it. But why? If the government wanted you to retire well and independently, why did they limit how much money you can put into your IRA to begin with? Why do they limit, even in the 401k program, why do they limit how much money you can put in when at the end of the day, they're going to have to be responsible for funding the Social Security? I'm going to tell you, and I won't get into it today, but here's the thing. Beyond the financial cost, there's that intangible cost of the time spent without freedom, or the knowledge and the confidence of not knowing about freedom. Your lifestyle is waiting, and every minute that you delay is costing you time that you can never have back, and money that isn't earning and that you'll never recover. So let's wrap this up. The choice is yours. Do you want the next 5 years, okay, to be like the last 5 years? You see, when you join MWR, you're not just getting financial advice. You're becoming part of a thriving community dedicated to mutual success. On my radio show, I talk about a community of street smart, money smart people dedicated to mutual success. You know, when I do well, you do well. When you do well, I do well. Our members support each other through every step of the wealth building journey. We share insights, we share knowledge, we share experiences, and celebrate victories together. What community do you spend? You know, they say that you are the average, your net worth is the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. How about, and I'm not talking about theory, I'm talking about actually doing it, stopping one Saturday, one Sunday, and analyze who are the 5 people? What's the net worth? You won't know exactly, but you'll know whether it's $100,000 or $100 million. Who are you hanging out with is a direct influence of your own network. And the community aspect creates a powerful environment for growth and accountability, right? It's kind of like having a workout partner in finance. Regular events, training sessions, recognition programs, all keep you motivated and connected while accelerating your progress towards financial independence. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the choice is yours. Do you want the next 5 years to be like the last 5 years, or do you want to change your family's financial trajectory for generations to come? The path you take, ladies and gentlemen, is up to you. My good friend, Dr. Gerald Parker, you saw his picture a little bit earlier. He has a saying which I've adopted and I repeat it almost daily. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to participate in your own rescue. Without that, no one's coming to rescue you. You know, they're not going to come knocking on your door to save you financially. The path you take is up to you. We encourage you to get your questions answered. So that's the next step. Remember, with our risk-free guarantees, the only risk you take is if you choose not to participate. So on that notice, get your questions answered. Contact the person that invited you to today's presentation. First of all, thank them that they thought highly enough of you that you might see an opportunity when it comes by. They will also answer any of your questions, and whatever questions they can't answer, we have a full-time 1-800 support line. They have people like myself and some of the other leaders that are there to back them up, answer the questions that have been in the program a little bit longer. Remember that menu. You choose your membership level, okay? Decide whether you want to be a lifestyle and legacy membership and see $2,000 a month on average savings, or do you want to be a business owner, full qualified marketing director as the title goes? It's the opportunity to not only improve your own finances, but to help others do the same and get paid handsomely for, you know, as my other mentor would say, by doing good, you can do very well. And so I want you to do well by doing good. Complete your enrollment, get back with the person that invited you. They'll guide you through a simple, I mean, literally it's a 10-minute process to get started. It just takes minutes to complete. Then talk to us. We want to help launch your journey. We're going to be there every step of the way. In fact, we'll even help to promote your business. If you contact one of the leaders, we would love to launch you. So thanks for making MWR, Make Wealth Real, and our life-changing opportunity. We appreciate you exploring with an open mind our systems, our strategies, and the supporting community that we have. And the community here is ready and waiting to help you transform your financial future. Again, get back with the person that invited you. Thanks a lot for joining us. If there's anybody that has any questions, I'll turn it back over to our fearless leader, Mr. Fernando Ramirez, who without your help, I don't think I would have gotten through the slides.
Mr. Eric Wilder, tremendous conversation. You know, to me, this is a conversation. It allows me to learn, to digest more the opportunity that we have in our hands. That's why repetition is the mother of learning, especially if you're hearing it from tremendous leaders like yourself. I thank you so much once again. Anybody that has any questions, we're going to open up the microphones. Let me see here, and the microphone and the camera. So if you have any questions, by all means, we got Mr. Eric Wilner. Anyone of the leadership group here can support you by getting your questions answered.
5-year or 40-year? You select.
That's right. All right.
And you know, it's funny,
guess...
and I don't care where you are in your personal financial life right now, whether you know you're down to the last $2 in your wallet or whether you have $2 million in your account. The benefits of our level 1 programs, right, to reduce your taxes. Everybody, and at whatever income level you're at, needs and wants to reduce their taxes. We've got the experts to do that. Everyone wants to reduce interest and eliminate debt. We give you the tools and the experts to do that. You see, our level 1 strategies are for everyone. Now, you got to graduate from those level 1 strategies to get to level 2. Okay, but they're available and they're waiting for you. Our level 2 strategies are those 12 to 24 to 36% rates of return. Things like land banking. Okay, these are concepts. There's things that we didn't even touch on or mention in today's presentation. Today was really all about an orientation, an opportunity for you to, you know, walk around the new car, kick the tires a little bit, look at it, sit inside, but smell the new leather. What you're going to do is you're going to see something that you've never experienced before. It's a category of 1 company. And that's why it's one of the fastest growing financial services companies that offers this full suite of services with the mission, remember, is to make more millionaires. And there's no reason when you make over $2 million in your life and you've got 40 years to do it, there's no reason why you shouldn't end up, if you were to take 10% of your income, invest it, and earn 10%, you'd end up with over $1 million. I show in my radio show regularly that if someone were to have taught you, I wish someone taught me this. If someone were to have said and influenced me, said, listen, when you graduate from school, don't rent a property, go buy a property. You know, with today, FHA offers a financing of 3.5% down, which is equivalent of first, last, and security. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But here's the magic. Now, I'm now paying my mortgage. It's a forced savings program. I got a property that's appreciating. I get tax advantage monthly payments that a renter doesn't have any of those three things. Now, I say, put in your agenda that every 5 years, go out and buy another house. In other words, move to another house, put 3.5% down, rent out the first one, don't sell it. And next 5 years, okay, 5 years later, I have 2 houses. 10 years later, I have 3 houses. 15 years later, I have 4 houses. And if you were to do that, and now I don't care whether your passion is to be a school teacher, a firefighter, go into the military, do whatever really is your passion, because whatever level you could afford a house, that's the level house you bought. Okay, it doesn't matter. But every 5 years, by the end of your 40-year career, you will have 10 houses. Okay, if I only bought one every 5 years. P.S. I have coaching people now that want to buy one every year. Okay, they want to. By the way, if you do that every 2 years, if you were to sell the house, you would be able to deduct $250,000 for a single person, $500,000 profit. That's called house hacking. But here's the real point I wanted to make. At the end of a 40-year career, you now have 10 income producing houses, of which, remember, in 40 years, that means 3 of them are already free and clear, generating unburdened income every month. Today, the average rent in America is $2,000. That means 10 times $2,000. I've got cash flow. Now I got expenses, but I got cash flow coming in of $20,000 a month. Okay, we talked earlier about 16, and I'm just talking about the house that you live in. Imagine doing everything that we said in today's presentation and did that with the houses. We would have a country of free and clear individuals. And let me just tell you, you would have less divorces, less fights, less crime. You would have an amazing country. And that's what this company could just possibly influence. So back to you, Fernando. I get excited about this stuff.
Eric, like I said, your expertise in real estate and appreciating the fact that you got MWR in your toolbox in the real estate arena, where it allows you to generate more passive income on top of the real estate business. I mean, if we are able to understand what we have in our hands, it starts with understanding the compensation plan, understanding the services, understanding information, as Eric always talks about. He's got a real estate show Monday through Friday. It's at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. your time, right, Eric?
Yeah, don't say 6 a.m. You'll scare everybody away, but it's at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Fernando. But by the way, brother, I see you pop on every once in a while. That means I know, A, you're up early in the morning, and I love your support. So thank you. I want to put, no matter where you are in the country, we broadcast live over airway. So it's a real radio show, not just a podcast. But you can listen to it live. And I'm going to put in, if you go to facebook.com, it's a shameless plug for my radio show, but you'll learn a lot, and you'll see me talking about MWR on a regular basis. And that's because as a real estate professional that doesn't have MWR in your back pocket, you're missing the boat.
Wow. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, see, he's promoting what we do in his radio show. I mean, he's real estate, but guess what? MWR is in there. Invite folks, to participate. I mean, Eric's putting a lot of voluntary time doing that, and everything that he shares is incredible content and the reputation that he has. So when someone's doubtful about MWR, say, listen, I know a gentleman that promotes it. He's got a radio broadcast. He's a real estate expert. Why don't you, jump on and send him the link? All right. So Eric,
America's
thank you so much.
longest running daily radio show about real estate. Okay. I think we're doing something right. And like I said before, we're doing well because we're doing good. Bring value to your friends, to your to your community.
Awesome. Well, ladies and
So
gentlemen, it looks
I
like
put
we
it in the
have no
chat.
questions. Huh?
I put the link to the Facebook where
Perfect.
we do it live. So actually you get to hear the show and watch me goof off in the studio at the same time.
Yeah, see, the thing about Eric is he educates, but he also entertains. See, because if it's only education and there's no entertaining, it becomes, a little bit like boring. But he puts both education and entertaining, and he makes it real fun. Eric, thank you so much for your conversation this morning. I give you kudos for putting your voluntary time because you could be doing something else, but you have a passion for what we do and what you bring to the table, which is your expertise. And obviously, you're lending us your expertise, your hand for us to learn from you. Okay. So, any questions, anybody? All right. So now you can stay because we're gonna get into the training platform, where now we're going to start changing and shifting gears from what you observed today as the information that you received, where now you're going to learn to put your business on wheels. Okay, so I'm going to pop up a PowerPoint here. Eric, see if you're able to see it. Let me know.
All right.
And we're improving every single time that we do events, the kind of value that we put together. And I love surrounding myself with great leaders. And that's what makes this business all fun. Imagine we got Eric Wilner, an expert in the industry, not only in real estate, but finances and also the industry of selling. Because when you understand the power of selling, it's basically the power of listening. And when you get to listen to people's needs, you're able to establish a conversation with them, and you start to listen to what is it that they want out of life. And so we're gonna, Eric, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you, my friend. So we're gonna talk about what I remember when I heard this from our CEO and Mr. Andamo Tolson, his business partner. They said our lifestyle legacy industry is what we're building with MWR. And when you understand the lifestyle legacy industry is something that it's always up there and it's been around, but only the rich always knows about it. That's why they're rich. But now we're bringing that information to the masses, which is all of us that come from traditional jobs or any type of sales, but you really want to grab a hold of what is it that the people that are up there financially are doing. And I love that this is the new industry that we're building, lifestyle and legacy industry, where most of us can't really comprehend. I couldn't comprehend these words years back. I didn't even know what that meant. But now that I'm a part of an incredible platform, and you are all too, you're able to appreciate the fact that our CEO put time, energy, everything that he can to be able to build our MWR business. So it's not about what works, it's all about what duplicates. And that's the objective of what we do here. It's duplicating aspects that we have so much support that the less you say and the more you're able to share, people that see it and that are ready to learn are going to grab a hold of this incredible opportunity. All right. So participate, as Eric alluded to, and our coach, Dr. G.W. Parker, as well, participate in your own financial rescue. Because if you don't, nobody will ever save you. You have to participate in your own financial rescue. And in order for you to understand what that means is understanding what we have here, which is your network equals your net worth. The bigger your network, the bigger your net worth. And I love surrounding myself with awesome leaders like Eric Wilner. I see Coach T here with us. Coach T directs people to the source, to the information, and he's building a huge network. So we're learning a lot from everybody, and I love to stay close around incredible leaders like them. As skills develop an entrepreneur's mindset. So the traditional way in how we see money and how we see, spending, it's how everybody else sees money and spending. That's why we have more people spending money, because that's what we're taught, to spend all our money. So if we don't educate ourselves with information like this, we're going to make what everybody else is making, and we're going to have what everybody else is having. And we all have access to the full pie, but we just got to learn to find out what's the biggest piece of the pie is it that I want to grab. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the skills. Develop an entrepreneur mindset. Be flexible. That's one thing that you got to learn to do, and flexibility comes when things are maybe not working. And at the beginning, believe me, when you're trying to transition from one state of mindset to a different state of mindset, you're going to have to be extremely flexible. So flexible that you're going to have to learn to bounce back, just like a baby does when they're learning to crawl and they're learning to walk. They're flexible. They cry. We all cry. We all get hurt, right? But then we start to comprehend that we have to fight back to get right back up in our feet. Be inquisitive. Learn. Be like a sponge all the time. You have to always expose yourself to the information. Yes, it's repeated information. But if you come with an open mind, repeated information, as Eric always talks about. Okay, Eric, you mentioned, I think Lou Brown talks about this, right? How many times does it take for us to learn something?
7 times.
7 times. Right.
Research shows that you have to hear something 7 times to absolutely get it. I was thinking about that right on the very first slide when you were saying lifestyle and legacy. I didn't even know what it meant. And here's the funny thing, right? Everybody on this Zoom has a lifestyle right now. Okay. It might not be the lifestyle that you want. And that's part of the reason why, right? Most people aren't aware that lifestyle that you have is designable by you, right? And so once you understand that, the 2 main concerns is today's lifestyle, right now money for right now expenses. How do I solve that problem? Most people are stuck in that mode because remember, active income, semi-active income, passive income. The minute that I can get to passive income, then I don't have to worry about that. And now I start to, and as I'm going across that spectrum, is how I'm moving from lifestyle now to legacy. Lifestyle is today, legacy is the future and forever.
Wow. That's jewels right there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what Eric just, enlightened me with, it's whatever you're doing today, you're right, your current lifestyle. If you stop working tomorrow, what would your family receive? So heaven forbid something happens to you. See, we got to think about those things. And sometimes we think that, it's for that to happen, it's a long time from now. And we start leaving things for tomorrow. So we definitely need to be plugged in at all times, because we can easily be distracted to the lifestyle that we don't want back. We went out of it, but we just don't know how to get out of it. And right now, these jewels that are being given to you are going to start to wake up that giant in you, where you can start changing your lifestyle step by step to eventually leave a legacy. All right. So evaluate the pros and the cons. All right. So every time you make a decision, I always call this the decision of Benjamin Franklin, the balance sheet. There's a balance sheet that you got to always put in front of you. Look at the pros, look at the cons, right? In the decisions that you're making. And I guarantee you, when you have a reason why you do something and you put the balance sheet, the pros and the cons, in most cases, you're going to start to focus on the positive things, and you're going to start putting more weight on that side when you decide to do something. Okay, don't think too fast. Sit down, analyze, and study the pros and the cons at all times with the decisions that you're making when it comes to your financial future. Think outside the box. Inside the box is too narrow and it's too comfortable. We gotta expose ideas. We gotta be exposed to ideas where it makes us think outside our box. Okay, so for instance, this is Saturday, and you're being trained, and you're here still. We started from the reading club, right, which it lit up the energy. Jameson did a phenomenal job. Now to Eric's information and conversation. to getting trained, a traditional person would say, Saturday? Come on, I gotta wake up late, I just love to enjoy my time, and just do my traditional thing. That's not thinking outside the box. What you're doing right now is thinking outside the box because you want to explore other avenues to learn from and pick up those jewels so you can put them into good use. Accept your mistakes. Yes. And if you have made so many financial mistakes, accept them. Don't cry about them anymore. Because now you have a reason to say, I can shift gears because I'm thinking outside the box. I have accepted my mistakes, but I won't make them again. Be with business people. What are you doing now? It's Saturday morning. You're thinking outside the box. You're accepting your mistakes. Now you're positioning yourself to be surrounded with other like-minded individuals. Be with business people. See, and that's what you're doing today. We don't do what everybody else does. That's why when Eric Wilner has his radio show, I wake up to that. Like I'm there, like preparing my event too, but I'm like listening. All right. Because I know he's putting voluntary time for all of us to learn. So I'm going to go learn from someone that knows what they're doing. Be with business people, get togethers. What are we doing now? We're trying to find other like minded people and we come together. So you start to separate yourself from the masses, the traditional weekend activities, and it doesn't have to be forever. The minute that you decide to transform your life, eventually you put everything on cruise control. But the get togethers are so important. Business conferences, you're getting trained. Digital forums, you're learning from today's times in how to do business. Understanding the market. Eric Wilder gave us so much information how to understand the market. Determine why you started it. Don't forget that. The minute that you say, I'm turning in $249.97 to get started, determine today why you have made the decision to get started. And lastly, be productive and save time. That's what we're teaching you. So I want you to learn from the acronym system. The acronym system stands for Save Yourself Time and Money. So be productive and save time. And that's what we're going to teach you. All right. So let's move on to the next area of our training. See, what you're doing now is you're developing yourself, building new skills. You want to change your occupation or you want to add to your occupation. Okay. You got to have goals in front of you. Training is important. See, we like the lifestyle, but we hate the training, don't we? We love the lifestyle. Oh my God, we do anything for an incredible lifestyle, but training, imagine the sports players, like people that do boxing, mixed martial arts, soccer, basketball. They look good when they do things. You know why? Because they're training themselves at all times. They do the hard work to be able to shine like stars, right? And be admired by everybody. So anytime that you feel that you want to flake on trainings, you're flaking on your transformation. That's why I always keep an eye on the people who get trained. And guess what? Eric is always training, but he's also receiving training. Why? Because he wants to be very accurate. So when he speaks, people listen. You know why? Because he's always talking about, I went to this event. I went to that other event. Eric, didn't you say you just came from an event
Yep.
not too long ago?
Yep. Yep. No, and I teach my kids. I'm a lifelong student. You see, most people, they think that when they graduate high school or they graduate college, that they're done learning. They put in their learning time. And that's probably one of the critical mistakes. You'll see that all successful people, from the Elon Musks down to, most of us, the ones that are constantly learning, like you were seeing in that spectrum that you had, that was, be open-minded, be inquisitive, be curious. That's the best thing you can do.
Exactly. So if you're hearing it from someone that obviously is always training but also getting trained, we have to get out of this traditional circle. And as you alluded to earlier today, Eric, the 5 people closest to you will determine your level of your financial success. So the more you get close to the people that are always learning and always teaching, you want to be in that circle. If you got 4 friends, you want to be the fifth one. Okay. So now, because if we don't prepare a mindset, no matter what our CEO puts in front of us, we'll be like, oh, okay. No, 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 no. We have to comprehend what our CEO is doing for us. That's why we start with a mindset. Okay, look, our CEO just made an announcement. He's putting more money out. But if you're sitting on your MWR business, not doing anything because you're not mentally observing the changes, this won't mean anything to you. So we start there to shake you up and wake you up to be able to expose this to you, okay? Because now you're gonna see it a little different. If we would have started with this first, which is what our CEO gave us, we probably wouldn't have comprehended and paid attention as much as we're doing now. All right, so listen to how he started this, and he exposed this morning. From zero to hero. Imagine what this promotion can do for your family and everyone you introduce to MWR. Okay, so let's look and let's learn together. Let's say, this is what he's saying, and I want you to really position yourself on this being you. I'm new always. Eric's always new. We're always new. Okay, so we have to put ourselves in the new seat. Let's say you're brand new to MWR and you started following our 12, 6, 3, 2, 1 income example to reach $12,000 a month in residual income. And your personally sponsored 12 team partners, qualified marketing directors during this promotion. So the promotion, if you look to the template here, started August the 1st. So whatever you have done from August the 1st up until now, he's going to give you credit for that, our CEO. Okay. And we have this until September the 30th. That's why I'm saying you can't be sitting on an opportunity. You have to go crazy after we're done training and start working on your list of contacts ASAP, okay? In order for this to go into an effect into your bank account. Income results. So say you decide to really go all out, put all your excuses on the shelves, and get out and master bringing new people. $600 is what you're going to make by sponsoring 12 people. But there's a domino financial effect to that, which leads to number two. $600 in 150 and 450 momentum bonuses. Okay how your money. Sorry.
Sorry.
Did I hear something?
No, that was
okay,
something that interrupted. Sorry.
Okay. All right. All right. So $600. That's number two. In 150 and 450 momentum bonuses. You see how the domino effect of money begins to take place? Number three. You're going to qualify for a $600 in residual income. Eric, you talked about different incomes just now. You said that, can you mention those three incomes? And you talked about residual being the last one, the first two?
Right. There's active income, which when we first start working, we get a job, we get whether, like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's a commission job, paid per hour, or even a salary. But the minute you stop, the income stops. And so that's your activity is involved. And that's what everybody starts out as. And PS, the industrial world would love that you never do anything else, because that's where they make their money from that. They are already in this semi-active mode because they supervise and hire you to do the work, but they get the leverage of all the additional effort. That's why J. Paul Getty said, I'd rather have 1% of the effort of 100 people than 100% of my own, right? 100% of everybody else's effort is going to add up to more results than 100% of yours, simply because you can't even do 100% every day. You got to sleep, 8 hours. You got to eat, you got to commute. So it's a very inefficient way to live your lifestyle. The semi-active is a much better way, but the best way is what you're talking about, is what's called residual or passive income. And that is money making money, or investments making money. It's not you. You could sleep the entire 24 hours And when you wake up 24 hours later, you would have more money.
Wow. You guys have heard this. Okay. And thank you so much, Eric. Active income. MWR gives you a chance to hire yourself. And it gives you the opportunity to experience active income being your own boss. So if we go back over here, Eric, to what you just said, the $600, which is the first $600, is your active income. And $50 per person is what you're generating to bring them on board. But your active income, number two, jumps into your same, what is it? Same active? Semi-active. Semi-active. Okay, thank you, Eric. Semi-active income. These are your bonuses on top of your personal bonus, right? So they're bonuses on top of bonuses. And you have a chance to build your residual income. So the effort that you're putting in here with us, which is active, semi-active, turns into residual income. When you have a job, you know what your boss is looking for? His residual income from you. So I want you to think about every time you don't take action in your business and you have a job, you're making your boss residual income with your effort. And if you don't push yourself, he's going to fire you. In our business, when you don't push yourself, you're firing yourself. So let me ask you a question. Being the person that you are now with the activities that you're putting into the MWR business, are you firing yourself constantly or you're constantly hiring yourself? Remember, you're your own boss. And the appreciation of your effort is compensated by residual income. Residual income, okay? Now, let's talk about more active income. Our CEO has given us a chance to be able to make money from business funding. So that means if you go out there and you get 12 people on our MWR business funding, you're going to generate $4,800 from your personal efforts. 12 people enroll into business funding. The good thing about what he has done is he doesn't just want you to make big money with your personal efforts. He's giving you a leading path where when you bring those 12 people in your team and they do one business funding themselves times 12, he's adding an additional matching bonus of $400. So what do I mean by that? Say Eric is my sponsor and he goes out and helps someone with business funding. He makes his $400, but he's teaching me to do the same thing. I go find someone that wants business funding. I get my $400. He will override another $400 from me. This is crazy money. See, that's why the way we started our training this morning is positioning you for big money, because now you're seeing yourself being your own boss and being your own employee. So every time you don't capitalize on the opportunity, you're firing yourself back into having a real boss control you. And you don't want that, do you? Okay. So this is the reason why we love what we have, because our opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, it's unmatched. In 31 years that I've been a part of this industry, okay, I've never seen anything as good as what we have here at the table. I am so excited about this. So now let's talk about the last piece. When you bring 12 memberships, whether team or personal, this is what happens right here. You qualify for a 2-star executive director ranking position, which puts you at a $600 a month in residual income right up here. So this right here is $600 a month in residual income. Thanks to a rank up promo upgrade, you'd receive a 3-star executive director legacy rank. What does that mean? Besides the people that you sponsor and they make their $400 and you override $400, they're going to pay you anyone on your team as a 3-star executive director legacy bonus of $30. Just imagine you got people at your 3rd level, your 4th level of your organizations. No matter how deep your organization grows, you're going to generate $30 every time somebody enrolls, either on business funding or on the membership. $30. That's crazy money. They're treating you for growing your business as a 3-star executive director. So on that note, Eric, we're going to move on to the next topic.
Yeah, the
And this
funny
is what
thing
we,
about that, we were
go
talking
ahead.
about the most generous compensation plan, and I remember in the beginning hearing Dr. Parker say that they pay us ridiculous amounts of money for simply referring. But think for a second, right? Everybody says that they want to be their own boss, okay? And you're right. In the beginning, when you first go strike out on your own, and you are the boss, you're the cook, the waiter, and the bottle washer, all wrapped into one. And that's, most people say that they're willing to make that sacrifice, but saying and doing are two different things. Because, for example, and think about this: people want to make more money being self-employed than what they're getting paid for showing up 8 hours at a job. Okay. And they complain that they don't get paid enough for the 8 hours that they're there. But then they don't spend 8 hours in their other business that they said that they want to have so bad, wanting to make more money than they have. And so think about this: if you were both the boss and the employee, as your boss, when you don't when an employee doesn't show up, what do you normally do?
Well, if you're your own boss and the employee doesn't show up,
Yeah, you got to fire your ass.
exactly.
You know,
Of
you know,
course.
the expectations, the wants and the expectations don't quite match. Now,
Exactly.
let me say something much more positive. Fundable 360. You just went through these numbers, and it's really quite amazing, because you don't have to be a licensed mortgage broker, loan officer. You don't have to go through bank training. You don't have to understand how the funding works. You don't have to understand even how the credit, how business credit is created. And I'll tell you that 90% of the people on this call don't know how
Exactly.
business credit is created, or even that it exists. But here's the very cool part about this. All I have to do is go to a business. I'm going to go to the dry cleaner on Monday to drop off some shirts to press. And then you're the dry cleaner, Fernando. And I go, Fernando, I'm working with a company right now that provides a guaranteed $50,000 of funding for businesses. Could you use additional money in your business?
ASAP. How does it
Right?
work? What do I do?
There's almost no business out there. I find it hard. The only time someone will say to you, no, I don't need any money, is because they don't trust you. They look at you, and what you're saying sounds too good to be true. Now, I want to bring this to practical earth. Let's say that every day, because you say I got to find 3 people, I got to find 12 people. Fernando, I don't know 12 people. Okay. Well, problem number one, okay, is you don't know 12 people. But now, how about you jump into your car or take an Uber, however you want to get there, go to the local little strip mall where there's like 10 stores, and every day go to a different one. And then you walk into each one of those businesses. I guarantee you that one of those businesses will show up, get qualified, and move forward with that. $400 a day times 5 days a week is $2,000 a week, right? Times 50 weeks is $100,000 a year.
Wow.
Now, go back to the question, right? If I didn't show up, I went to my 8-hour job and I made, what's the average, I don't know, you can make whatever dollars it is, right? That you're already complaining is too
150 a
little,
day.
right? And so
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, it doesn't matter if you don't know anybody. Understand what Fernando is breaking down on this. And if you just went to a different, and I guarantee you there's strip centers all over the country, and lots of them. Okay. And that's just to
Sure.
get you started. And imagine if you did this, and this is how I built my mortgage company, believe it or not. I told every mortgage broker to come. I said, listen, I can't guarantee whether the client that I'm going to talk to today is going to buy or not buy. True, right? They could have a
True.
bad day, wrong day, not the right time. can't
Yep.
afford it, not interested. I can't control them. I can only control me,
Exactly.
right? So if I go and visit 10 people a day, I guarantee you one of them will have a positive response. Okay. And that's
Yeah.
only a 10%, closing ratio, which is very low. And it might be that way with the first day you start, but by 30 days later, if you were to take you up on that challenge, it definitely would be happening at a much higher rate. That's
Most
how you
definitely,
create.
Eric.
Yep, that's how you create income, whether you know people or don't know people, whether you have a skill or don't have a skill, it's all being provided.
Most definitely. I mean, we got the tools, we got the resources. The only thing we can really help you with is when is it that you want to transition your mindset to say, I'm going to give myself permission to do the very best that I can. And I'm going to respect myself for making all the mistakes that I'm going to make, saying the wrong things to the right people, maybe at times where I lose a good prospect, but I'll do it. See, and that's the thing that we don't have the magic wand that can give you that type of desire. You got to want to have it, especially when you don't feel like having it. Okay. So, Eric, thank you so much. Like I said, I've learned so much from
Yep.
you, man. That's why I listen, I pay attention to everything that you have to say, because we do have all the tools and the resources, and you're not alone. Keep this in mind. You're here working for yourself, but you are never by yourself. I don't know much about the product knowledge or what we have here, but I know one thing. I know how to make money, and I know how to trust the process where I can bring good people like Eric Wilner or experts in our back office to connect other folks. We have a new student right now. He's a leader, he's a realtor, and he asked me a lot of questions on the services, and I was honest with him. What did I do? We went to his back office, we did the walkthrough, we were able to schedule the appointment, and I don't know if we have him here. Gilbert, I think he is. He's plugging into everything, Gilbert. Let me see here. Gilbert. Well, he was here a little earlier. He might be here, but I'm not able to see him right here. But anyways, so what did I do? We were able to schedule the appointment with an expert. He had the consultation with him, and guess what happened afterwards? I just follow up with him. I said, "How did it go?" "I'm excited," he goes. "I'm ready to jump the opportunity with Fundable 360." I said, "Phenomenal." So that's all we do here, ladies and gentlemen. So what do we have? We're going to show you ways on how to keep more money with services that the company provides. And I want to put everything up here. Keeping more of the money that you're currently making. What do I mean by that? You have to schedule your appointments. If you need to eliminate your debt, we got two ways. We got a financial calculator in your back office, and we also have Cambridge. So there's two departments that can help you eliminate your debt, and you have to experience that for yourself. We're here to do things with you, not for you. So you have to put yourself on that. And if you don't know how, talk to your leader and ask them how, and they'll show you how to do it. Reduce your taxes, make your appointment, submit your paperwork, lower your monthly bills, make the appointment, submit the paperwork. Credit restoration, pull your credit, submit the documentation, and then get your credit restored by our company experts. Now, what we have, keeping more of your money out of the way, you can think a little bit better when you're paying less on your debt. You can think a little bit better when you're paying less on your taxes, lowering your bills, and fixing your credit. Now you're excited because you were able to take some money from here where you can talk about diversified cash flow, private reserve accounts, and you set up the appointments with them as well, precious metals, land banking. Okay. And I'm leaving trust my assets for last because this right here is basically when you have already taken care of all the other aspects of your life. Now you got money that you want to protect and assets, and you're going to use trust my assets with that to be able to minimize your taxes and protect your well-being and your legacy. Trust my assets is more to the people that have really brought down their debt, reducing their taxes, lowering their bills, great personal credit score. They have now diversified cash flow accounts set up, private reserve accounts, precious metals, land banking. Now trust my assets makes sense. In
That's why
addition
we
to that,
call
you
it
got
the level 1, level 2 strategies.
yep.
Knock out the first light blue squares and then move on. But you can do those all at the same time and right away. we used to have that 72-hour challenge, which I thought was marvelous. You put the information and put it in the hands of the experts. They'll come back to you and tell you exactly what you need to do next.
Makes sense. Makes sense. You hear that? So I love the perspective and how is it that you're putting it together, Eric, because you do have access to everybody here, everyone. And you can choose to schedule your appointments whenever you want to, at least to have the experience to find out what our services provide. Okay. So keep more money, make your money work for you, protect your income and assets, and you can have access to the information anytime, any day of the week. But first, at least do something. Start with eliminating your debt, reducing your taxes, lowering your bills, and start building your credit score. Okay. The cool thing that I like about your personal credit, now you have access to Fundable 360, where you're going to start building business credit as well. And this money right here is going to be tied up to your EIN and your LLC. But Fernando, I don't have one. Create one. MWR gives you access to that. You don't have to be a self-employed. If you're still W-2, figure out a way in how MWR can help you set up an LLC, an EIN, which is a separate entity than your social security number, to have access to bank's money, to make more money. All right. So OPM, let's talk about that a little bit here. Our revolutionary three-step system enables you to become and stay wealthy using proven financial strategies and the opportunity to create passive and residual income streams. It's remarkably simple. You use the bank's money to purchase income-producing assets that appreciate over time, while sharing the systems with others to leverage their success as well. And here's basically how it works. So you can see that, right? So business funding, precious metals, share the concept with other people. Very simple. You don't have to become the expert. Just do your part. Ways of where to get the funds, mindset ideas. So we're going to give you ideas. But Fernando, I don't have the money to get started with business funding. Have already money to invest or business credit? Perfect. But if you don't, start your MWR business with $100 and your membership of $149.97. If this is a problem, there shouldn't be a problem at all, because sometimes you could say, I don't even have 249.97, 911. What you're doing and what you have been doing the last 5 years isn't a formula that is working for you. I can be a doctor in finance when it comes to that simple thing. I didn't have this money when I started the industry back in 2009, but I did have the ideas. I had the resources to make the money. I was, Eric, I had a 430 credit score back in 2009. And then an opportunity like this was presented to me with a practice company. And I said, man, I saw all the testimonies. I go, I don't have the money, but I want to get started. Someone trusted me and said, listen, I'll let you borrow the money. And I didn't take that for granted. I made 2,500 calls, just like you alluded to this earlier today about, knocking on doors. I made 2,500 calls because I was sick and tired of being broke with a 430 credit score. I used all the testimonials and I called all over the country. And I was able to enroll 16 team partners and 24 customers. I paid the money back. I made money. In 16 months, my credit score jumped from 430 to 749, removing 25 derogatory items. But it took me some time. But that year, I made $45,000 from not having money to having a 749 credit score and $45,000 in 1 year. Mindset, right, Eric?
100%, so everything starts with the right mindset. And here's where for example, I think some people's mindsets are confused, because if you were to go out and start a brand new business, right? Most people, I started it with my savings because I had some, or they knew that most businesses, you need thousands of dollars to start, right? Whether it's inventory, buying, renting out a store or whatever. And many people, just like you did, will borrow. They'll borrow from family members or somebody that will give them a chance. But they don't think twice, because they're so sure with their business
Right.
idea that I know I'm going to pay this back, right? But in this business, where the barrier to entry is so low, you don't even have to borrow. What do you have to borrow? $250 that you can get back and be profitable in 30 days. Well, that's too easy, so nobody puts value on it.
Exactly.
And so the rules don't apply to this business. You know, if I was to go bake cookies all Saturday long to go sell them during the week, I'll put in all that time. I'll go out and buy the ingredients. I'll beg, borrow, or steal the money to do it. But this business, people say, well, no, I'll get to it tomorrow. And then it's tomorrow, and then it's tomorrow, and then it's 2026.
Exactly. And that's the situation with this. That's why we have to create the mindset. When we started our training today, it was all mindset because the business is so good. I guarantee you, Mr. Brian House has invested humongous amounts of money for this business to work. And he's giving it to us for $249.97. I mean, paying the price to start a business, our CEO has paid the price to start a business, and he's saying, I put it together for you, buddy. For $249.97, your business $100 one-time investment and $149.97 with all the jewels that you have there to have access to all these experts. Here it is for you, wrapped up really nice. Like you said, Eric, a business in the box. Go make money. Go change lives, right? All right. So the goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is to go crazy enough to go find 36 people that want to be a part of our platform, which is 36 memberships, or you can refer 8 fundable 360s and generate the income to be able to get your business funding started with a guarantee of $50,000. See, this right here, all it requires is a little bit of money and work and no excuses. Put the excuses in the shelf. Oh, but I'm afraid to talk to people. I guarantee you, if you have a flat tire and you need help, you're not afraid to talk to people. If your son gets sick, you're not afraid to talk to a doctor, right? If your bill gets shut off, you're going to start making calls to see who can let you borrow money for bills. Make sense? So we got to get rid of the excuse to say, well, I don't know people. It doesn't matter. You can figure out a way to get to know people. So the returns on the business funding is $400. That's $1,500 per month in residual income. Now you have money to work with. And you started with $249.97. I share my story. If I have made it happen and had no money, believe me, somebody trusted me with the money that I invested, gave it back to them, and it paid me $45,000 that year. It was the best decision I've ever made. So here's what it costs to be able to be a part of Fundable 360, $29.95. And if you have that already and you invested here, you're guaranteed $50,000 up front. How long would it take? You could take 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 8 months, even if it takes a year. It's $50,000.
Not only that,
Okay,
but it's
so
forever, right?
it,
And
it's
now that you have the credit only builds.
that's it. You got our fine tech system with the program, in-house concierge team. Just follow instructions. They're your coaches and your mentors. They're going to show you how to do everything. No premium on rates, much more. I explain here. Continuous new lines without reapplying, like you said, Eric, may take 30 days to 8 months. Even if it takes a year, it's $50,000 that you're going to get sooner or later. Meanwhile, keep working, keep doing your thing until you get approved. Okay, great. It took me 8 months, $50,000 in 8 months, where now I can make a rate of return on my investment. Okay, performance guarantee, minimum $50,000. So $29.95 for 50,000. I'm all in. I am all in. I don't care how long it takes for me to get approved, but I will get approved. Okay, so now rates of returns. I know we talk
Hey,
about
before
1%.
you
Yeah,
go on with
go ahead,
that,
Rick.
Fernando, I'll
Go ahead.
bet you that, some people saw 29.95. I thought you said, $250 for my business. No, this is for the funding, okay? And this is an add-on investment because remember, you're getting a whole new portal, you're getting a whole new set of advisors and a guarantee. So that money is out there as long as it takes for you to provide the the results that the coaches ask that you got to have an EIN number, okay? Don't even bother investing in this if you don't have an existing business. Don't even bother if you don't have an EIN right now. But but if you have a business, even if it's been on the shelf for a while, but if it has at least an address, a business, incorporated officially, has the EIN number, if it has those things, now you're ready to get started. But then they say, but Fernando, I don't have $29.95. And for just simple math's sake, just call it $3,000. Okay. I'm not trying to market this. I'm trying to make it real. So it's $3,000. But because if I'm doing this and I'm an MWR agent, I get a $400 commission. Okay. And so, and you want a little dirty little secret. I hope this is not being recorded. But if I tell a person that I bring in the into the business, because they're going to get $400 and I'm still going to get the $400 during this promotion. And if the other person that you bring in happens to be a relative or family member, you can make the $800. But here's the thing. I didn't say that. There's $3,000 minus $400, so it's really $2,600. But Fernando, I don't have $2,600 right now. All right. Well, 2,600 divided by 400 is 6.5 people. If I talk and show this to 6.5 other people, I will make the money. In other words, I'll create the money to have to do this. So are you willing to go out there and find 6 people to give you free funding now because you created the money?
Yep.
Don't let, the question that wealthy people ask when they see that, they don't say like, how much does this cost? They ask, what do I need to do to get it?
Exactly.
Okay. I'll tell you one funny story and then I'll be quiet. But my oldest son, he was 16 years old and he was a junior in high school. And he was at a trade event that I was running, and I always used to bring him along so he would see and experience and know what actually happens, that I don't just sit on the phone all day. And so while he's at this trade show event, there was a booth there. Do you remember those hoverboards that there's 2 wheels that's electronic, you stand on it, and then if you lean forward, it goes forward. It was all the rage at the time. And he comes over to me, he goes, Dad, I want one of those things. And I said, okay, it's interesting. How much are they? And at the time, it was $400 for at the trade show, and they were $600 if you went to the store.
I remember.
And so he comes out, oh, it's $400. And I go, okay. And he goes, can I get it? And I go, no. Now go back and ask him, how many do you have to sell for him for you to get one free for yourself? Okay. And so I'll fast forward to the end. He found out how many that he had to sell in order to get one himself, which he promptly went and did. And he says, well, the trade show's only 2 days. Can you lend me the money? And I said, why don't you ask the guy if he'll lend you the money? And the guy says, I'll lend you half. So I lent him half. The guy gave him on credit. Wow. I go, Christopher, you just created your first credit line at age 16.
Wow.
That's amazing. And then he went on, and then he was the big man on campus because his entire hockey team bought one from him. The word spread around the school, and people were coming to our house to come pick up their hoverboards for Christmas. And so he had his own business. Why? Because we did the little shift in thought. It's not how much does it cost? Can I have it? It's what do I have to do to have
exactly.
it? Back to you.
What a testimonial. I'm telling you, see, coach, mentored, delegated responsibility. You could have probably have easily said, hey, here, but you taught him a lesson. And once you teach someone a lesson, especially someone so close to you, your son named Christopher. My son's name is Christopher too, my oldest son. And I've done things like that with him. But it's amazing to hear the story, ladies and gentlemen. It's creative thinking. That's what this takes, and not giving up, right? Asking the questions. He kept on asking, hey, and you kept telling him and delegating to him what to do next when he asked you for money. And then you gave him an assignment. He did it. and then you give him another assignment and he got it done. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there's many multiple ways in how we can do things. All we got to do is learn to ask. And if they say no, big deal. Ask the next person. Ask the next person until someone says yes. Here it is. I'm ready to get started. All right. So thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. All right. So now let's talk about returns, because this is what we like. We love returns, right? But we have to obviously give something out to get something back in return. Let's assume 3% being the case in this rate of return of the $50,000 business funding. Now, as Eric alluded to, what his son did, he generated a profit and made a business with his first line of credit, where he was now making cash besides getting what he wanted. So imagine you're doing this. $50,000, you got your precious metals working for you, paying the bank back, and you're keeping a profit. So if you see here that red is $500 going back to the bank, but you're still keeping $1,000. Okay, so this obviously this is not guaranteed. We talk about 1%, 1.5%, 3%, but so far what's estimated to be with precious metals, especially silver, it's about 60%, if I'm not mistaken, 5 years from now, right, Eric, or am I being wrong with that information?
Yeah, well, the
Estimated.
bottom line to take into
Performance is not
consideration,
guaranteeing anything. Huh?
this is an example today. Okay. If you come back 30 days, the market could be different. Interest rates could be higher, interest rates could be lower. The market could be up, the market could be down. But here's the cool thing about this, when you qualify to be in this program, those are contracts. So whatever time you get into it, you wouldn't get into it if it wasn't a positive return, A. And once it's locked in, because they're contracts, then for the period of time of the contract, you have that guaranteed rate of return. Think of it as, you buy a house and the monthly payment is $1,000. The monthly rent that I receive is $1,500 for that next year. Now, at the end of the contract, the market could go up or down, rents could go up or down, but for that year, I know that I'm going to make $500 a month in positive cash flow. And, whether it's precious metals or real estate, the point is that there are business transactions. See, we're now thinking you're a business owner, you're going to invest in a business. And very similar to, by the way, when my son sold his first hoverboard, did he go out and spend the $600 that he made? No. He took the $600, went back and paid the gentleman back his $200. And now, debt free, he bought his first one and then went out and sold that one, got $600. And now he was in the black. But what he kept doing was investing in more hoverboards because he couldn't stock them fast enough to how fast he sold it. Imagine here that you get $50,000 that you didn't have to begin with, right? Number one. Number two, you now are thinking like a businessman. You learned about business credit that most people don't know about. So now you can't give somebody knowledge and take it back. So you grow as a business person. What my son learned back then, he now still employs to this day. And that was, over 10 years ago. So here's the cool thing about this. You lock in the contract, you have $50,000 in year one. If it appreciates the next year, you have 50,000 plus the 62 that you had at the bottom of year one. So now you start the year at 112, it grows to 140. Now you start year three at 190. And by the end of 5 years, now here's the funny thing. Some of you are saying, well, but that's going to take 5 years. And I go, like, if you don't do this, you won't have the $543,000, but you'll still be 5 years older 5 years from now. What are you going to do different that's better than this?
Wow. I'm telling you, Eric, see, we can either make the mistake and look back and say, I lost $500,000 for not paying attention to what I needed to do. So there's going to be a story. Either I regret it or I'm glad I did it. So the choice is yours. That's why I love our trainings, because see, as I am teaching, I'm learning from you and you're teaching me back. So everybody that is here, if you can put fire emojis, if you're taking something with you today in the chat. See, and let me see how many participants we have. We got 25 leaders here that are committed to making this happen. So I want to see some fire emojis, ladies and gentlemen, and let me know that you're excited about what you're learning, what you're taking with you. 25 participants. There you go. Elisa, Jameson. So I love Food Soldier, Malik. So we got people that are excited. Adrian, there you go. So fire emojis, right? Just to light up the fire, to know that you're taking something with you that you're going to put into good use. All right. So 4 things. We're about to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. I won't be long. Okay. So hold on. And if you do have any questions, by all means, save it, or any comments. We're going to get to open microphones and cameras once we're done. Okay. Because we're almost over time. Not over
And
time,
the
but we're
last
right at
thing,
the
Fernando,
Go ahead.
in
Yep.
in either with or instead of the fire, put one aha. Tell me that you were in today's training and you took one, because that's all you need is one nugget of information that you're going to implement will change everything for the week. So put
I
in
love that.
a single, or more, one nugget. No, not the word one nugget, the nugget that you took away.
I
You're
love that,
killing me,
Eric. Thank
Malik.
you.
That is so
Uh,
funny.
hey, I love training with you, Eric, man. You're amazing. Man, I'm telling you.
Gotta have
I
fun,
feel like
man. Gotta have
I feel
fun.
like I feel like Batman and Robin. You're Batman and I'm Robin, okay? But 4 things we do to be able to understand why, and this goes back to reality, okay? And is I gotta learn to sell, but I do have the support. All right. So you're not alone. So anytime you do have setbacks, you got mentors, you got leaders, and you got systems in place that are going to help you get right back on your feet. So number 2, recruit and support. So we got to build a pipeline, sales, customers, you got the support. Recruit, you got the support. Duplicate is what we're doing right now. We're teaching you duplication. What did Eric do with Chris? He duplicated his idea with him and taught him how to make money. All right. And become a business minded 10 years ago, son, that now, because of that lesson learned, he's a changed man now. All right. He's not a kid anymore. He's a man now. And then lead. Okay. Because now you have positioned yourself to be able to learn the selling point with support, the recruiting aspects with support. Now you're duplicating yourself and you start to lead others to do exactly the same thing. So network marketing offers so much value in terms of training and support. You're getting trained today. The beauty about this business is that you're not alone, and you sure are not. Imagine how much would you have to pay to hear Eric or even myself elsewhere to get trained. People pay thousands of dollars to be trained, not with people that have theory conversations. We have conversations of our life stories. I've been in this industry for 31 years. We built organizations of thousands of people. Eric has been in the industry selling real estate, even network marketing, for quite some time. He's got years of experience that I always listen to. All right. So, guys, we're blessed to have Eric and the team partners that we have here that are leading the way. All right. So, in network marketing, the whole point is not to sell a product, but to build a network. That's why it's called network marketing. An army of people who are all representing that same product or service to share with others. See, it doesn't matter how good you can sell a product and how awesome it is to bring people. To me, that really doesn't matter. What matters is, can I have other people doing what I do? That's the magic of this business. And that's why we have to go through a number of people to be able to find out who really wants it and who doesn't. See, Christopher example today, Eric's son. He wanted it so bad enough that he made a business out of something that he wanted to play with. That's what we're talking about here, okay? So these numbers won't change, but you don't want to be a part of statistics. No matter how much we want everybody to do the business, we know that 70% of the people that you bring to the business are not going to bring anybody. That's why I never complain or cry about this in 31 years, Eric. It used to hurt me when I used to bring people and they would quit the next day. I would cry like a kid. Like, man, am I good enough for this business? I would question myself because I didn't know the math. When you know the math, you're in peace. So 70% of the people that you bring are not going to bring anybody. They're not even going to want to get trained. 20% of the people will probably bring one or two people. 5%, big change. Only 5% are going to bring 3 to 5 people because they're getting some training. 3% are going to bring 6 to 9 people. Now they're preparing to win. 2% are going to bring 10 plus. So what do I mean by this? I guess, Eric, we all start at 70%, but we don't quit. So I was a part of that 0. I didn't bring nothing for a while, but I kept coming back to trainings where I learned to bring 1 and 2. I kept coming back 3 to 5. I kept coming back 6 to 9. I kept coming back 2%, 10 plus. Why? Because I was sick and tired of being so broke. I don't want to be broke anymore. So I says, I'm broke. I'm not poor. I'm broke. It's only temporary. I'm about to fix myself. That's the way, we got to see things. You see, if we're broke, it's temporary. A poor mentality, it's you're a victim of things and you're not willing to do anything. Broke is only temporary. Okay. And that's the thing that I've learned to appreciate when I came into this industry, because I was broke and hungry, looking for an opportunity. Eric?
Yeah, to your point, broke, is a number. Poor is a mindset.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we're doing what we can to be able to see, what is it that you really want out of your life? What are you taking with you today? It's important, okay? And this is all by Eric Worre. Eric, I guess Eric's are geniuses in leading, right? So Eric Worre's information here. So I'll share this last page and we'll wrap up over here. All right, so now that you have made the decision, and let's assume you say, I'm ready. I'm going to grab the bull by the horns. I'm going to go out there and make it happen. Looking at your team regarding those who have recruited 10 or more. If you haven't done it yet, today's your day. We got lots of money on the table, and everything will end in September 30th. You gotta think right now of the 12 people you're gonna bring from now until September the 30th. All right, so in our business, there's a math, and it's a math that we have to learn to accept. It's out of our control. Looking at your team regarding those who have recruited 10 or more. So if you haven't recruited yourself 10 yet, okay, and obviously, you want to be a part of the people that recruit 10 or more, there's going to be a duplicating response from the growth of your team. If you got 2% of your people and the people in your team recruiting, you're on decline mode. Look at your organizations. If you got 3 people, you got 5 people, and you got 2% of the people in your team recruiting, you're on decline mode. Or maybe you're the only one doing it. If you got 2% plus that are bringing people in your team, you're unstable. You're not growing. 3%, solid growth. That means out of 10 people, you got 3% bringing people. 4%, momentum. You only need 5% of the people on your team that bring 10 and more. But if you haven't experienced that yourself yet, do it. Think about the math of 12 people. You're going to position yourself right here, and you're going to start to see how this math will eventually be a part of your team. And I see it. And I see it when I see the organization. I go to my back office, and I see. And you never blame anybody for anything. You take full responsibility of your business, leading from the front. That's how you do it. And eventually, we're going to start building organizations that are in rocket ship time. And this is the reason why I say that, Eric, because in our practice company, I saw all this process over here. And if I go back to the previous example here in numbers, I saw that too. In 2009, I started with that business. By 2012, we have brought in, I would say probably about 1,000 people from 2009 to 2012. We opened up 4 offices. They were all my team partners, Spanish speaking. We brought a trainer to the company, and the trainer gave me an estimate, an expert in the arena of network marketing. He goes, Fernando, you got to start shifting gears because this organization is not going anywhere. And it was hard because I packed the place. And at the end, that's what he told me. He goes, you got to start mixing up people that speak English and Spanish. Because if you're bringing people that only speak Spanish and they're not willing to learn English, you got a problem. My trainings are going to be all in English. And I said, wow, I felt pretty uncomfortable, Eric. And I said, okay. So I was pretty much like maybe over here on solid growth. So I had to transition. And I lost my organization when things started to change. And I'm glad it did. So having about 1,000 people going away, I had to rebuild back again. From 2012 to 2015 is when I met you all. I'm glad I listened to him because when I listened to him, we brought an incredible caliber of people that we're still doing business together. Eric, you're a part of that growth. So I said, great. I'm glad I made this decision to shift gears. So from 2015 to 2022, we grew organizations from, I think Lou Brown grew to maybe about 2,000 people that he brought, multiplied. And then we brought another gentleman who brought about 14,000 people from 2015 to 2022. We grew and the business was just thriving. Things happen. It's okay. We shift gears. We came here. We're doing the same process all over again, but we understand the math of what it takes to build something. We don't put any emotion. So I'll wrap up with this. So I want you to all start thinking about our industry. We're in the industry of sales, and this is where we are now. The entire country or the entire world brings $190 billion in sales in network marketing. The projected growth by 2033 is $294 billion in sales. Now, my question becomes, is how many of these numbers do you want to have in your organization? Think about that. How many of the numbers? So $294 billion. Okay. So when you think about those things, you got to start to see, where do I see myself in the business in the next 3 to 5 years? Our company gives us the opportunity to grow as much as 33,000 strong to get paid from. And I can assure you, if you stick to your guns, you're going to achieve the 33,000 membership status, which is $15,000 per day. And we're committed to make that happen. We're here to give you full support. You're never going to be alone, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work, okay? So on that note, Eric, anything that you'd like to add to our wrap up of our training?
No, I think the tools are on the table. You got the mindset here from Fernando. Excellent training today. Thank you very much for, number one, being a great leader. Early in the morning, you were a great co-pilot. And that's what this business is really all about. And I remember I said, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. Right here, you have the opportunity to be around a lot of people who raise the average and raise the bar. So you got to pick, time is scarce. There's always an opportunity cost. If you do one thing, it's at the expense of not doing something else. And if you start looking at things that way, think about this too. And I think this is the last thing I want to say. Number one is that what you and I are doing right now is generating active income, right? It's me and you, we're present. It's our effort. It's our time. We're actively working. Coach T and some of the other folks here that brought a guest they're practicing semi-active, right? They brought them here and they let the system do the work. You and I are doing the heavy lifting today. Yeah. And if you do that enough, the semi-active plus the active, you will start receiving passive income and stay consistent. And this business is more about consistency than anything else, not about skill, background. Don't care where you started from. Elon Musk started on a couch. He was, believe it or not, today the richest man in the world, was broke and living on his friend's couch. Okay. And he did that. He's not even that old. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he used the principle of active, went quickly into semi-active, developed a huge network in big companies. And today, he doesn't have to do a single thing for the rest of his life because there's enough investments generating enough income that he couldn't spend the money if he tried.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, see, this can be any one of our stories, Eric, and we just gotta decide. We gotta decide to start thinking as big as we can, and we have enough room space to grow as far as we want to grow and as strong as we want to grow, because of our compensation plan and what our company has in store for us. Where they're only asking us $100 to start this business, plus an incredible membership for $149.97. Now we got also other people's money, banks. Wow. What else do we want, Eric? We got everything wrapped up on this incredible business in the box. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is now you have no excuses.
Exactly. Zero excuses. So on that note, Eric, thank you so much. Everybody has access to open cameras, and man, Eric, I'm telling you, it was a great duo of a training today. You Batman, me Robin.
Love it, brother.
We accomplished it. So you have access to open your camera. I guess we got Adriana that has a question. Thank you so much for keeping your hand up, Adriana. Microphones are open, I think. Yes, they are, and cameras as well. Or maybe, oh, you are.
My camera's not.
Huh. You have permission to open it. You got access.
Oh, voice should be good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You don't want to see my beautiful face? Okay. What my nugget was that the variable, I happened to take a note on that one, which was on the how you can reach millionaire status. Those are the variables based on the market going up and down. That was on nugget. And basically, I've been taking notes on the last part of it as well. The 33,000 building status, meaning I can have a group as big as 33,000 strong. Did I take the wrong nugget? And $15,000 a day?
Mm-hmm.
Did I make?
Yes.
Okay. And the business is more about consistency, and it's a business in a box. So basically, I just wanted to pull it all together. That's how I grasp. I learned by, taking little jots downs, and that's basically it. And I put up my fire emoji, and it's literally, I pretty much think outside the box. I'm used to following a system. And basically, I do talk to people. I just met a guy yesterday that I set up an appointment for Eric Monday, that he has his own landscaping business. So I talk to people that happen to be standing in line at Aldi supermarket. And he happened to smile at something I said. And I said, "Hi, how are you? My name is Adrian." And there we went. And that's all. I said, because he had the last J&J on his shirt. And I said, "That's your business?" He says, "Yes." And I asked him his name, and he said it was Juan. And I've been sending little things to him today while we were in training. He says something in Spanish, so be ready to. He speaks English fluently, but oh my God, he was excited about the little bit I've been sharing with him while I've been in training. So let's see what happens Monday.
Awesome.
All right.
Congratulations.
I praise the Lord.
Great job. Woo. Awesome. We got comments also on the chat here. Let me see. Participation here.
Meanwhile, just folks, remember that we have trainings all week long. We've got, are we having the Monday night?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and that's at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 p.m. East Coast.
Same link as this one.
No, that's Dr. G.W. Parker's link.
Okay, the Kingdom Builders.
Kingdom Builders, yep.
And then Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, we not keys to home ownership this Tuesday. It's us, Dr. G.W. Parker and I at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. East Coast time.
Okay.
Same link.
That is same link as today?
As today.
So Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, we have also 8:30 p.m. In fact, yours truly will be on that presentation. Fernando will be on the Tuesday presentation. So you get different voices and different perspectives each night. Thursday, usually we'll dive deeper into some of the services and the products. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, those of you who are already on earlier in the morning, we had our reading club, our Entrepreneurs Reading Club, and we're reading right now the Cash Flow Quadrants by Robert Kiyosaki, an outstanding book, should be on everybody's shelf in your library, in your house right now. And if it's not, order the book. We just completed chapter 5. Jameson was our reader this morning, who did an excellent job. And we'll be picking up on chapter 6 next Saturday. So it's easy to catch up if you want. But even if you just were to join us, cold on Saturday coming up, there'll be enough background, enough explanation that you'll be able to follow right along. And again, it's all about the community and the growth. Remember, I'm going to remind you one more time, you are the average. And you could probably say this about mentally, financially, spiritually, and attitude. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That's it for me.
Excellent, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry?
Please, I apologize, sir. Dr.
Okay,
Parker's Kingdom Builders, is that going to be in the chat? Or how do I obtain it through Telegram or anything?
We normally share our links, Adriana, on Telegram, or we do it on the MWR Kingdom Builders page on Facebook.
Thank you.
Yeah, with a template and also a little script. So when you send it out, you grab the template and then you copy the script and send it to your invites.
Thank you.
You bet. Duplication, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Eric, I'm going to read I see here, Deborah, nugget. Think outside the box. Don't feel you have always followed the traditional path. Also, if you have kids, mentor young people and don't hand them money. Good advice. What else here? Something covered me up here. Sorry about that. Oops, it went all the way down now. I lost it. Jeez. Okay, don't hand them money. When they ask, walk them through earning it themselves. Great advice. Thank you so much. Jameson, it's rocket ship time. Elisa, 5 million plus. Yeah. Brian, can you create a Zoom call schedule? Can you elaborate, Brian? Maybe if you can open up your microphone.
No, just
what do you mean?
I think what would help a lot of people is to have a printed schedule where, when and where to be each night for the additional training. Yes, we can do that.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Perfect. That's all I'm looking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Brian. Adriana, please, Doctor. Okay, we got that. Eric Wilner, rocket ship time. And then we got Jameson that shared the link of today's recording. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we're going to let everyone go. We appreciate you all for taking the time to finishing the entire training, reading, presentation, everything we put together, because that's what it takes to win. You're changing your paradigm. Why? Because you definitely see yourself accomplishing your financial goals and dreams. Happy Saturday and enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks, Eric. See you all at the top. Bye, David.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Eric, Mr.
Perfect.
Eric Wilner, bye. Jake Robles, bye. Adrian, bye-bye. Jameson.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Martha, Elisa, Monifa.
Yeah,
Rob,
great presentation.
Thank you. Letitia, Kim.
Thank you.
Lovey.
Have a great weekend.
Anthony. You too. Dr. G.W. Parker, Jameson. All right. So I don't want to leave anyone out.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fernando.
Bye, Monifa. Bye, Monifa.
Later.
Take care. Bye, Malik.
Awesome training. Awesome
Bye-bye. Thank you, Lester. Appreciate
No
you.
problem, man. Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right. Bye, everyone. Brian, take care, my friend.
Enjoy your
We'll make sure
weekend.
to get that schedule in your hands. Who
Thank you
are
very
you
much. Janice is my sponsor.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so we'll make sure to make that happen. We'll put that schedule together so you can have access to it.
All right, have a great weekend.
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.